Hey everyone, ready to dive into a story. This one is really going to get you thinking.
Oh, yeah.
It's about a woman named Olivia
Okay.
and a chance encounter with someone she never expected to meet.
So, a chance encounter.
It is. You ready to hear more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we're exploring a story about this woman, Olivia, and a chance encounter that takes a turn no one would see coming.
I like it already.
I think you will. The thing that's so interesting about this one is that it's not just about what happened. It's about, how even small acts of kindness can have a huge impact.
I think we could all use a little more kindness in our lives, that's for sure.
I know I could.
So, yeah, I'm really interested to hear more about this.
Yeah. So, okay, imagine you're in Olivia's shoes. It's late. You're driving down a deserted highway, and boom, your car just dies.
No, no.
No cell service, no other cars in sight.
That's my nightmare.
I know, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, me too.
So, how would you feel? I'd probably feel pretty vulnerable.
Definitely. Talk about a feeling of isolation and helplessness. You're just stuck.
Totally.
It really makes you appreciate how much we rely on, technology and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when it's gone, you're just
That
totally...
blown.
Yeah.
It's like a primal fear almost. Like, back in the day, this was just normal.
Right.
But nowadays, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're so used to having everything at our fingertips.
Exactly.
So to suddenly be cut off like that, it's definitely unsettling.
So this is exactly what happens to Olivia, right?
Okay.
And so she's just waiting there, and suddenly she sees headlights, a truck pulls over, and out steps this guy. He's got that, rugged look, quiet confidence,
Oh, I know the type.
like the strong, silent type, you know?
Yep, I can picture him.
Now, here's the question, though. Would you hesitate to accept help in that situation?
I think most people would.
Yeah, I think so, too. It's like a safety thing.
It's natural to be cautious, right?
Especially when you're alone and vulnerable.
Exactly. You don't know who this person is.
Oh.
But this story, it really makes you think about those instincts. When is it okay to trust a stranger?
And what do we risk missing out on by being too afraid?
That's a good point.
So Olivia decides to take a chance and accepts the ride from this guy.
Okay.
She's grateful, obviously. But things are a little awkward inside the truck.
Awkward. How so?
Well, she tries to make conversation, small talk just to break the ice. But this guy is, super closed off. He has these vague answers about himself.
He doesn't want to reveal too much.
Yeah. There's this air of mystery about him.
That would definitely make me a little uneasy.
Right. So she's grateful he stopped, but there's this underlying tension. Who is this guy, really?
I see what you mean.
It really gets you thinking about how trust plays into our whole perception of kindness,
Yeah. It's is it really kindness if it comes with strings attached?
And why would someone go out of their way to help, but then, stay so guarded?
That's a really good question. Is it about protecting his own privacy? Or, maybe he didn't want her to feel obligated to him in any way?
Yeah, could be.
There's definitely some interesting psychology going on there.
So they finally get to a gas station, and the guy just drops her off. He's just like, take care.
Wow, that's it.
That's it. No names exchanged. Nothing.
That's kind of strange, right?
It is. You'd think he'd at least introduce himself, especially considering who this guy turns out to be.
Oh. Who is it?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Olivia gets her car towed and, life goes on.
Right.
The guy in the truck becomes just a passing memory, a story she tells people sometimes, but that's it.
I've had so many encounters like that. People you meet briefly and then never see again.
Totally.
You wonder where they ended up.
I know, right? So fast forward 3 years.
Right.
Olivia is at her friend Carly's house. They're just hanging out, casually listening to a podcast.
Okay.
And suddenly, Olivia hears this voice,
Oh.
and it makes her do a double take.
Like a familiar voice.
It's Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, the famous podcaster. Oh, wow.
And it hits her. Out of nowhere.
Okay.
That voice.
The voice from the podcast.
Belongs to the guy in the truck.
No way.
Can you imagine? What are the odds?
Seriously?
You never really know who you're going to meet in life.
It really is. And you think about all those random encounters, you just never know.
Yeah, sometimes we walk right past someone who could change our lives.
Or who has already changed our lives and we don't even realize it.
That's true, too.
But here's the thing about this. Joe Rogan, with all his fame and everything, chose to just be a regular guy that night. He helped someone in need, no fanfare, no big deal.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It really says something about him.
It does. You don't always hear those kinds of stories about celebrities.
You don't. It makes you wonder, how much of ourselves do we show to the world? And how much do we keep hidden?
Interesting question. Like, are we all just playing roles?
Maybe, and it makes you think about, like, what are our true motivations?
Like, when we do something kind, is it for ourselves or for the other person?
Yeah, that's a deep one. So Olivia, she's blown away by this, right?
Yeah, I bet.
It totally changes her whole view of Joe Rogan, but it also makes her start thinking about how she views kindness just in general.
That makes sense. It's like this experience shifted her perspective.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to explore more after a quick break. We'll be right back.
You know, it's really interesting to think about how Joe Rogan's choice to stay anonymous might have actually made his actions even more impactful.
How so?
Let's think about it. If he had revealed who he was, it would have changed the whole dynamic.
Yeah, that's true.
Olivia might have felt pressured to act a certain way.
Right, or felt like she owed him something.
Exactly. But by staying anonymous, he let her form her own conclusions about the encounter.
Without the influence of his fame.
Exactly.
So it was just a pure act of kindness.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how we usually view celebrity good deeds.
Like, that's almost expected now, right?
In a way, yeah, like it's part of their brand.
Right. But this was different.
It was just a guy helping another person.
No strings attached.
And it makes you wonder, are those quiet acts of kindness, the ones done without any expectation of recognition, are those the most meaningful ones?
Maybe they are.
It's like true kindness transcends those external factors.
It's about the intention behind the action.
Exactly. And in this case, Joe Rogan's intention seems to have been purely to help.
And you know what's interesting? After this whole realization, Olivia starts noticing all these small acts of kindness she used to overlook.
Like what?
Like holding doors open for people, offering a helping hand, even just a genuine smile.
Those little things can make a big difference.
They can, and it's like she suddenly tuned into a whole different frequency.
Like she's seeing the world through a new lens.
Exactly. And it's not just about observing it. She starts actively participating in it.
What do you mean?
She makes a conscious effort to be more present, more mindful of the people around her.
That's great.
It is. And that's where things get really interesting, because the ripple effect starts to kick in.
Oh, I like where this is going.
So as Olivia starts embodying this new outlook, she notices that others around her start mirroring her behavior.
So her kindness is contagious.
It's like a virus, but in a good way.
I love that. Like spreading a virus of kindness.
Exactly. And it really reinforces this idea from psychology that our behavior can influence the behavior of others.
That's so true. We've all experienced that.
We have, and it suggests that by choosing kindness, we can create this positive feedback loop.
Inspiring others to do the same.
And it's not just about the people we interact with directly. Olivia starts getting messages from people who have heard her story.
Yeah.
They share their own experiences with unexpected kindness or talk about being inspired to act kindly themselves.
Wow. So her story is literally touching the lives of people she doesn't even know.
It's amazing, right? And it speaks to the power of storytelling. Sharing our experiences can create this chain reaction.
It creates a sense of connection, like we're all in this together.
And there's this one message that really stood out. It's from someone who claims to have also been helped by that guy in the truck
Wait, seriously?
on a deserted road.
So there's another person out there who Joe Rogan helped anonymously.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is. It paints a picture of someone who consistently chooses to act with compassion, even when no one's watching.
Okay, I gotta ask. Does this change your view of Joe Rogan at all?
It definitely adds another layer to his public persona.
It's like he's not just this celebrity, he's a real person with a heart.
It reminds us that people are complex.
Yeah.
We can't always judge them based on what we see on the surface.
Because there might be this whole other side to them.
Exactly.
And sometimes it takes a story like this to remind us of that. It really is amazing to think about all those little acts of kindness.
The ones that happen every day.
Yeah, the ones we never even hear about.
But they're happening all the time.
It's kind of inspiring, though.
Oh, definitely.
Because it shows that anyone can make a difference.
You don't have to be a celebrity or have a big platform.
Exactly. You don't need fame or money.
It's about those everyday choices we make.
So how does Olivia, actually put this into practice?
Well, she starts by, making a conscious decision.
To be more kind.
Yeah. She actually writes herself a little note.
A note.
Yeah. It says, Be the stranger someone remembers for the right reasons.
Oh, I love that.
And she sticks it on her fridge.
So she sees it every day.
Every day. Just a little reminder.
Such a simple thing.
But it's powerful.
It is. It's like a visual cue to keep that intention top of mind.
And then it's about, like, incorporating small acts of kindness into her routine.
Okay, give me some examples.
It's like really taking the time to connect with people.
Connect with people.
Yeah, like the cashier at the grocery store, the barista at her coffee shop,
Oh, okay.
asking them about their day, offering a genuine compliment.
It's about making those everyday interactions more human.
Exactly. Because we've all been there, right?
Rushing through our day.
Not really paying attention to the people around us.
Just going through the motions.
So it's about slowing down, making eye contact, recognizing that shared humanity.
I like that. And it goes beyond just being polite, right?
Yeah, it's about actively looking for opportunities to be kind.
So how does she do that?
Like, she makes a point of being helpful.
Helpful how?
Like offering to carry groceries for an elderly neighbor, giving someone directions, or even just offering a listening ear to a friend who's having a tough time.
It's about being aware of the needs of those around her.
And stepping up when she can.
But she doesn't just do these things quietly.
No, she starts sharing her story with others.
The story about Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Not in a bragging way, but as a way to inspire them.
So she's using her own experience to create a ripple effect.
Encouraging others to embrace kindness as a way of life.
And you know what's cool?
Right.
Her story resonates with people.
Yeah, it reminds us that even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
Not just in the lives of others.
But in our own lives as well.
It's like this beautiful cycle of giving and receiving.
Kindness isn't just about the recipient. It also enriches the giver.
That's such a good point. And, you know, it really brings us full circle.
Back to Olivia and Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Their encounter wasn't just random.
It was a catalyst for change.
A reminder that we all have the power to make a difference.
In ways both big and small.
And it all starts with a choice.
A choice to be kind.
And I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, what kind of stranger do you want to be?
How can you weave kindness into your everyday life?
Those little choices matter.
They do. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Remember, kindness is contagious. Let's spread it everywhere we go.